Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building.
Somebody tell Don Burr what's good. Somebody tell Don Burr what's good.
The best show for Chicago sports.
Yeah. What's good? We back. Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. I did a Detroit Sucks chant in the chat. Little weekend morning breeze. Nothing wrong with that. Got a lot to talk about here. Chicago Bears to interview Eddie George for their next head coaching job. Here's what it really means. We'll talk about that. Also, did Ben Johnson lose a little bit of steam in your book? A little bit. Is there a little bit taken off of the fastball after last night's game? Here's why I'm going to tell you why there shouldn't be. And then I saw the Trace Armstrong report. I saw what everybody was talking about with Trace Armstrong. And I got a little pushback for you. The date is 1/19/2025. It's 11:03 in the doggone morning. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, Detroit sucks. Oh, I was so hyped last night. I was trash talking everybody I knew in Detroit. There was some strays thrown everywhere. I love it. I absolutely love it. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Is it?
Come on.
I was about to say, my push the button didn't work?
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page, man. Don Burn, that's all you got. That's all you got? Your quarterback threw so many turnovers, we can't even talk about how bad he was. Come on, Don. Come on, Don. It's okay. Little cope. You can cope a little bit. Go ahead. That's all right. RG3 was better than Andrew Luck that first season. Who would you rather have? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Don Burr went into that game. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on my sweater already. Mom Spaghetti thought he was finna get a whole Eminem Super Bowl halftime show. Out of here, dog. Don't let me find a Dan Campbell. Don't let me find one, dog. Don't let me find one. Oh, man. But let's get into some of the Chicago Bears news, man. Bears to interview Eddie George. This came out last night, and I saw it, and the first thing that pops into your mind is, okay, the Bears are moving quick. Immediately, this news drops right after the Detroit Lions get absolutely eviscerated and just some questionable play calling, bad turnovers at the wrong time, and a lot of tough moments in last night's game for Detroit, realistically speaking. And the first thing you think is, okay, this is to fulfill the Rooney Rule, right? There's no way the Chicago Bears are going out there and giving Eddie George a real chance at being the Chicago Bears head coach. And I do agree with that. But this Rooney Rule is I'm not going to say it's just to satisfy the Rooney Rule. This is kind of a two-way street. This is a way for Eddie George to get his name back into head coaching interviews, head coaching cycles. He's been the head coach over at, is it Memphis? I believe it's Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. I got to invite Jordan JC. He said, "Are you live? Let me in." I told JC, I got you, JC. I didn't know you wanted to do this. This is a spur of the moment live. I sent it, JC. Get in here. He is he's the head coach for Tennessee State. I'm sorry. I was thinking Memphis because of the blue there. But it allows you to get your name in these head coaching cycles as well. As Jordan JC joining the show here. Hey, Relentless Mikey said we need those meaty takes.
I feel so good today.
Oh, look at Don Burr. He's coping. He's coping hard, bro. He's coping
How you
hard.
doing today, Don?
Coping hard. He can't. That's all he's got. That's all he's got. Don's hurt. Poor Don. He'll get over it. It's just
we have the best record in 2025. That's all.
But I was just talking about the fact that the Bears basically bringing in Eddie George to fulfill this Rooney Rule, but also to get his name in some head coaching cycles. This to me means that the Chicago Bears are going to be moving quickly with this head coaching decision. This is going to be something that probably takes place in the next, if not next week, probably the week after that. I think this is going to be very quickly, but it does not mean that it's going to be just for Ben Johnson. For me, this is an opportunity for you to get Ben Johnson into the building like Mike McCarthy did. But if you guys have been paying attention to some of the major news that has happened online today, Adam Schefter kind of crushing Bears fans' souls a little bit. Some of these Bears fans who want Ben Johnson but don't really believe that he's coming, because the Raiders are interviewing former Lions executive and current Commanders assistant general manager Lance Newark today for the general manager job. Newark spent 26 seasons in Detroit before joining Washington last year and is said to have a strong relationship with both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. It would be assumed that he would hire one of those guys to come into the building. And Tom Brady last night, the Glaze show for Ben Johnson was ridiculous in a loss. But JC, since you're in here, what are your thoughts on the fact that the Chicago Bears are interviewing Eddie George? And is this just something to kind of get the Rooney Rule out of the way?
Honestly, yeah, I thought that was their direction, is that they're getting a guy in that they're familiar with, and he's playing nice. Like, okay, let me get this out the way. That way you can get to Ben Johnson quick. From what I'm hearing, they're trying to be all in on Ben Johnson. However, you throw in that wrench in there in the plans with the GM, interviewing with the you said the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
So that could be a way that Ben Johnson kind of gets lured to Las Vegas, because we already talked about, does he want full control? Does he want full power and bring his own guy in to make decisions and kind of, recreate the team and form the team to his liking? So that could be the only maybe roadblock to you getting him a little bit more easier than you expected. I feel like the Bears are really trying to go all in and get this done quickly.
Yeah, no, 100%. And here's the thing, like, to me, the conversation you have to have now is basically, is this a 2-candidate race? Is this a 2-horse race? Or are you still in on the Joe Brady's? Are you still in? Because this is something to me that if you were still in on a lot of these candidates, now again, Joe Brady's still in the playoffs, Todd Monken's still in the playoffs, so you can't go all in on them. But seems like you're being very, very quickly aggressive to go after either a Ben Johnson or an Aaron Glenn to be able to get them in the building. I like the efficiency. I like the aggressiveness. But to me, a little bit telling that, okay, now that we didn't expect you to be out of the playoffs. Let's be real. I did call it. I said the defense is not going to be able to stop the offense. I didn't think that a Jamison Williams interception would be the thing that ended up taking the Lions all the way down there.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that the Bears are being very intentional about what they want. We'll get Eddie George's name back in these hiring cycles so that people are looking at him. He's doing a good job down there at Tennessee State. So a name that you want to get back in the cycle so that he can probably, I would assume he wants a job in the NFL, which is why we're seeing him get, these kind of interviews here. But you're getting this out of the way. You're doing what and this is for all the people who are on a high horse about the Patriots. I get it. It's the Patriots. It's Boston. we got assumptions, right?
Right.
But they knew who they wanted. This feels like the Bears know who they want. They know who they want to go after. They want to get this guy in the building and get the job done. I like that they're being intentional about it.
I love that they're being intentional. Finally we can get past whatever that was the last week of the 644,000 interviews of random people just being brought in the building. And so does that mean that they were just kind of buying their time and thinking that, you know what, we got to wait until the real candidates are available, get the playoffs out of the way, and now we can kind of put this thing into overdrive, which is what I'm glad that they're doing. So again, be assertive, be very direct in what you're doing, your approach. Get this done. Let's not mess this up. Let's not bear this up. Let's move forward with the candidate we want. And again, like you said, I do agree that it's a 2-horse race. If we don't get Ben Johnson, I've been more and more warming up to Mike McCarthy as the days go by. I really do like his resume, and I like at the very least, I like his floor. If we're going like prospects or whatever, I like his floor. I don't think he has a high ceiling, but I like the fact that he can probably at the very least bring some continuity, some stability, which is what this organization needs.
Absolutely. Can we also? I get it. We all joking about Don Burr. Can we take a minute to clap it up for him being the ultimate Bears troll?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he's like this in any other chat.
Okay. All right.
But the amount of people who were in here literally just to talk trash to Don Burr, it's so impressive, dog. Everybody in here has said something about Don Burr.
Man. Where you had
just walked in and said, "Where you hiding, Don?" Bro, that's elite level troll, bro. We got to start a troll awards. We got to start a troll of the year awards. Don Burr gets the inaugural one off rip because I am so incredibly impressed.
Who's Don Burr anyways?
Bro, you want to know what's crazy? So a while ago when we still had the call-in line, and we are bringing the call-in back, that's going to be something we add here in 2025.
Oh, yeah.
Going to have a couple of call-in shows on here. You would think, right, because of Don Burr coming in and always having like his Lions fandom always hanging out, that he would be like, you know that fan I'm talking about, right? The guy who got fired at the Philadelphia Eagles game. You know what I mean? That guy.
Yeah.
He's like super smart. Like I remember when he was talking, he like called in. I was like, oh, we got Don Burr on the line. I think we were playing the Lions that week, and we might have beat him. I think we might have beat him, or we lost by real close. And Don was like a real logical. He's like, y'all got it. Y'all just got to get the coach right and make this happen. I was like, Don, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think you was smart, bro. I thought you was
you wanted to hate him so bad, but
I wanted to hate him. I was like, Don sound like a good dude, bro. Sound like a good dude, bro.
Solid guy.
Oh man, but I will say this: I just had to give Don his flowers on that. But let me ask you this, JC.
Yo.
When you look at the, by the way, we got JC in the building. Might as well because we are over 100 in the chat, over 200 in the chat,
okay.
Over 300 in the chat, over 400 in the chat, over 500.
Hey, nice.
This is technically a morning breeze.
Oh, I know.
But did Ben Johnson lose a little bit of steam for you last night? There was some. I don't know if I can say questionable play calls. I'll say this. He called his game.
He got a little cute at times.
No, listen, he called his game. We've seen Penei Sewell drop back. We've seen Jameson Williams drop back. We've seen Amon-Ra St. Brown throw a pass. We've seen they called their game. They lost. That's my thing. Everybody, should you call that? Why would you call that thing? This is who they are. That's what they do. They lost playing their game.
Yeah.
I would rather lose playing our game every time than lose like they did. What was it, last year in the playoffs where it was like, why didn't you go for 2 in this moment? You've gone for 2 every single time. Did Ben Johnson lose a little bit of steam for you last night?
Absolutely not. And you have to look at the overall picture. I mean, of course, in the moment, I'm pretty sure for Lions fans or even for Bears fans, they're probably like, oh, they lost to a rookie. They gave up 45 points. Well, mind you, that's the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. They still put up 31 points. For the season, they averaged the most points in the league at 33.1. So they were right there on the average. If you're telling me that you're going to put up 31 points in a playoff game for the most part, I'm thinking we're going to come out on top most times if you have your defense right, which is if you translate it to here, hey, we're in good business. So yes, Ben Johnson didn't lose any steam to me. Again, like you said, he went out playing his game. That's exactly what you want to do. Now, if he would have had a bad showing, 10 points, 17 points, whatever the case may be, and it was just completely bad, and unorthodox, yes, then I would have had some question marks, but I still wouldn't have been completely like, "I'll just blow the ship up." No,
Yeah.
let's calm down.
Ship, right? Ship.
SHIP.
Got nervous. I was like, "Whoa,
Right.
JC."
Let's blow this off now. So no, I'm all in on Ben still. All in on Ben. That's what we're gonna say. It's a slow.
No, yeah. Listen, I felt the same way. I watched the game last night and I was like, well, this is his game. This is his game plan, right? Jameson Williams, maybe don't throw that pass.
Let's not do that.
Pass, honestly, just to the other team. But maybe in that moment you throw that away. Maybe you need to communicate that with him there. But the gadget play is what got you back into the game with the big run from was that Gibbs that ran that one in? Or was that Williams?
Jameer had
that
two
was Williams
touchdowns.
too, wasn't it?
Jameer had 2 of them things. Yep.
Yeah, those are the things to me that this is who your team is. This is your team's identity. You went down falling on the sword for your team's identity.
Falling on the sword. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not mad at that. And again, like you said, you put up 31 points with they have 5 turnovers yesterday.
Yeah.
Was it 2 fumbles?
And I think how many sacks did they have? I could have sworn I saw somewhere it was a lot of. Was that the same game? I feel like it was the same game.
I mean,
they had a whole bunch of sacks against Jared Goff.
Take a look at it. Listen, the Washington came to play, and I'll be honest with you. Kind of looking at it from the other side, like Ben Johnson lost no steam for me. I feel like it's still you're still in a good position if you have Ben Johnson at the helm, especially offensively. Yeah. As a head coach, we don't know. I can't sit here and tell you that I do know, but I do believe. No, he was only sacked twice yesterday.
Okay, that must have been
I do believe that Ben Johnson can be an answer for you, but as in a game where Jared Goff 23 for 40, 3 interceptions in that game, 1 touchdown. If you're giving the ball to the other team, it's going to make it incredibly hard to win a football game.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking at
realistically what it came down to me yesterday. I didn't feel like the play calls were wrong. I didn't feel like you were calling the wrong thing at the wrong moment. To me, honestly, I believe that Jameson Williams play would have caught them off guard if he had thrown the football when he was supposed to.
He was supposed to.
Once it gets past the time that you're supposed to let that ball go. Now
everybody's aware. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now everybody's like, oh, James, he's got the ball. He's throwing it. We got him. You know what I mean? Like once you allowed them to adjust, so like if that's the one play, and I'll say this, if that's the one play that stops you from wanting Ben Johnson, that was a well-designed play that didn't work.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, he still put up 300 plus yards or 500 plus yards of offense in a single game. You lost a game where you put up 500 yards of offense.
Yeah, I think they said, I saw a graphic yesterday where it said they were the first team that had 300 plus pass yards and 200 plus rushing yards that lost a game. I don't know if that was in the playoffs.
500 yards of offense,
bro. And you're telling me you still don't want Ben Johnson?
I'm good. Please pull up. By the way, over 600. Hey, 600. Yeah, I was gonna say.
It is 11:20 in the morning.
It's still the morning breeze, though. You know, don't get out of habit. But no, like to me, I lost no steam on Ben Johnson. If you were in the Aaron Glenn camp, I don't know if you should have lost steam on Aaron Glenn. We knew. I told you what he was going up against.
Mm-hmm.
I told you. 18 guys on the defensive side of the football on IR. There was no shot.
No shot.
You were going to have to outscore them.
Yeah.
You couldn't. That was it. That was your only chance. I told you this. I told everybody this. Everybody, man, you're wilding. Like, no, bro. Like, it's the NFL. It's the NFL. I don't know if y'all know this. These are the best players in the world. You can't go out there with a dead team and just think, oh, we got it.
Yep. Yeah. Everybody matters.
It's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. I don't think my point in saying all of that was I don't think you should have lost any steam on Aaron Glenn as well. I think that you should feel that both of these guys should still be top tier candidates in your mind if those were the guys that you had. Here's the one thing I do want to finish off the live talking about. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love, man. If you have not done so on the YouTube side, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Also on the X side, if you want to repost this video, man, shout out to y'all for showing love over there as well. 469 over here on YouTube, 258 over on X. Shout out to you, man. We big vibey out here.
Dominating.
Here's Bears fans want somebody to blame. Badly, we want somebody to blame for getting it wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Friday, an article came out essentially pointing all the blame to Trace Armstrong. And Bears fans have taken this and have run with it. And I got to talk with Tommy Waddle, who is, of course, former teammate of Trace Armstrong's. So he's going to defend his teammate. But he made some really good points. And when I read the article, it's kind of where I was leaning with it. But when you get that kind of inside information and stuff like that on who people are, what their personality is and stuff like that, basically what the article is saying is Trace Armstrong is putting together front offices and coaching staffs that are subpar because they're his clients. And here's my response to it. Nobody told Ryan Poles not to pick Dan Quinn. Nobody told the Bears to fly Dan Quinn in coach. Back middle seat next to the toilets. Fat dude taking a dump on the plane. Plane's leaning one way because he's dropping a massive load out here.
Oh, boy.
He comes out, falls over on Dan Quinn. I don't know if half of this story is true, but it's what I've heard.
Oh, sources say.
Sources say there was a large human being on that plane, and he took a dump, and that plane almost went down. And then the Bears interviewed Dan Quinn. Nobody told Ryan Poles to choose Shane Waldron over Cliff Kingsbury. Don't put the blame, this is so new to me that I don't even know how to approach it, on an agent. Put the blame on the fact that your GM needed his agent to provide a list of head coaches. And on that list of head coaches that also had really good names, you chose Matt Eberflus. And not only did you choose Matt Eberflus, but then you doubled down on choosing Matt Eberflus. Not only did you double down, but then you said, we've also got this other guy who was on our OC list. Let's go get Shane Waldron. On a list that also included Liam Cohen and Cliff Kingsbury. I get it. We want somebody to blame badly. We want to throw somebody under the bus. We want to throw, we want to say that you're just following your marching orders, or you're doing whatever it makes you. And I get it. But you have an ownership group that is one of the longest tenured ownership groups in the world. That, if you include Hallis and McCaskey, that doesn't have enough connections to know coaching candidates. That's your problem. That they need to go to an agent and say, give us a list of coaching candidates. That your GM needs to go to an agent and say, give us your list of coaching candidates. That's my problem with this whole situation. I'm not looking at Trace Armstrong with any ill will or any problem.
No. I'm not looking at Trace Armstrong at all. I'm looking at Trace Armstrong and saying, congratulations, you took advantage of a situation as you should have. You're doing your part. You're doing your job. Now, the people you deal with, if they want to be idiots and not understand the football side of things or who to really go to or lean on, that's not your problem. You again did what you needed to do. And I looked at an article that talked about that recently, even in the previous regime, when it came to Ted Phillips as the president. Mentioned that, he was dealing with someone who really didn't know football people, and he took advantage of it. I mean, that's what you're going to continue to do. If they want to come to you for advice, you're going to bring your people in. That's your job, is to cover your people. So, yeah, and again, that's why we say the Bears have to really right this ship SHIP.
Yeah.
They really have to right this wrong in a sense and get this 100% right. But no, I'm not pointing any finger at Trace Armstrong. Trace did what Trace needed to do.
Trace is providing a list that Ryan Poles asked him to provide.
Yep.
That George McCaskey asked him to provide. By the way, good names on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Good names that you interviewed. Good names that you brought into the building. You chose wrong. You missed it. I'm not shifting the blame anywhere. You want to know what change? Everybody talks about all these changes that happen. And I gotta give me a second here because I gotta look this up. Because Potsy put this out, Mark Potash. And this is such a great the fact that he does kind of look like George Jetson. The fact that his Twitter picture is George Jetson.
It's hilarious.
It's actually hilarious. This is what really happened in Washington. October 23rd, 2022, Commanders fans chant sell the team at FedEx Field game versus the Packers. Bears have done this as well. July 20th, 2023, Commanders are sold to Josh Harris. January 18th, 2025, Commanders reached the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991. They sold the team. They interviewed Dan Quinn, bring him in. They interview Cliff Kingsbury, bring him in. They go out, get the quarterback they want, they protect him. They do things the right way. They do things the logical way. New GM in the building. And we're not seeing the opposite thing happen here in Chicago. It's not a different theme here. Washington has Trace Armstrong clients.
Yeah.
Why aren't Washington's clients failing? Why aren't they struggling? Also, I don't know if people know this. There's like 12 different groups of representation for coaches and GMs and front office people throughout the entire NFL.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
Maybe less. It's not a lot. So everyone has Trace Armstrong guys. Everyone has CAA guys. Everyone, right? Like that's what it is. There's not a big pool to pull from. So even if he gave you a list of as many guys as he wanted, a good chunk of them are going to be Trace Armstrong guys. It doesn't matter. You have to be right. You have to not miss. And the Bears don't do that.
Well, they swing and miss all the time.
Swing and a miss, baby. Over 800 in the chat.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. You all are doing it today.
Now, have they hit the like button? That's the question. Have you hit that like button?
That would be nice.
Have you
that
subscribed
would be
to the page?
very nice.
Have you left that 5-star review? I don't know what to do.
But you know, at the end of the day, the final decision is on the guy that is the general manager. So you again, this if now I'm not saying I want to point the finger at Poles. I mean, but we've already talked about it, that he's the guy that really has to get this offseason right. He's the one that has kind of all the light and the pressure on him to make sure that he's getting this right. You still got your buddy in the building, in Ian Cunningham, which, by the way, I do. Side note, him being back, does that get us a second round pick now? Like, does it get better and better now that he stays?
Well, yeah, the longer it takes, it does get better. But
Jesus, okay, all right. I just need to know that for a second. But I mean, yeah, Ryan, you got to get this right. You have to get this right. No matter who's giving you suggestions or giving you list of candidates or list of whatever, you make the final call. Make the final call.
It's you. I'm not blaming an agent. We've made it this far that we got to start blaming agents now. I'm not blaming an agent. I'm blaming the Bears. I'm blaming McCaskey's.
Yep.
Every one of them that's up there, even the one pushing the mail cart.
I'm blaming George and definitely.
I'm blaming all of them, whole family. I'm blaming the way that you do business. Now, hopefully that changes. Hopefully Kevin Warren being here brings on some of that change. Hopefully he gets Ryan Poles in order here. I think that you could have moved on from him this offseason as well, but you chose to stick with him. He's now going to get his next head coach. Hopefully this all changes. You go out there, you spend money, you take the biggest swing, and you win. But there is no guarantee. So if there's, you got to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this Bears team is going to be different. I hope so. It feels like it. They're operating differently, but we'll see what happens at the end of the day. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button if you have not done. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Of course, me and Jordan JC will be back for the Morning Breeze tomorrow. If any news breaks, of course, today I will be back for that as well. Maybe JC, if he's around, we'll hop on. He was so, y'all should see the text messages. He was like, what was buddy name? Eric Andre? Was it Eric Andre that did that? He's like, let me in.
Yeah. Get me in there.
Appreciate y'all for showing love, man. For Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, it's your boy Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bet down. One love. Maybe we get it right this time. We'll see. Peace.
Better freaking hope. Oh. Hoping on a wing and a prayer.
The best show for Chicago.
Was there a part of you last night that wanted Jaden Daniels to lose so that we didn't have to deal with the Jaden Daniels is better conversation?
You know what? I'm done with that. Let him have his 1 year.
Hey, listen, hey, if you arguing like it's like brother, listen, you don't really have legs to stand on right now.
Yeah, let him have his 1 year.
Title game.
Because CJ Stroud, I'll tell you, CJ Stroud is just he's getting killed. I think he was the one that had like 9 sacks the other day.
Yeah, he got murdered. He's dead.
So we'll leave judgment to the second or third year. I still got my boy Caleb
and Mike McCarthy. Oh, there it is.